What is up? What is up? What's happening? What is happening? It is, I can't believe it's October 24th already. It is
Good
Saturday,
morning.
October 24th. There's all kinds of birthdays. Jesse, what's happening? Um, sorry, I got a new toy I'm still playing with. I just love it. It's incredible. I haven't even figured out how to really use it yet, but so far, so good. Good morning. So I know this morning on the daily gig, I said we were going to be going live at 10. And then after we finished the gig, Jesse texted and said, "Hey, let's do 9:30." And I was like, "All right, let's do it." So I won't be surprised if we don't have a whole lot of people on right now. Probably be just shy of our 9 to 10,000 we usually get. But anyway, it is good to be back. It is good to be back in our homes, back in the studio, back in the well, I am. Jesse's out doing a little staycation. But we're happy to be back and have our gear up and not be using just the other stuff. I feel more comfortable when I have my lighting and I've got my background and I've got my microphone and I've got all the things that just make me feel like I know what I'm doing. So anyway, Jesse, it's good to see you. We actually were hanging out last night as if we haven't been spending enough time together, but
Right.
it was good to get to go to the old Chicken and Pickle and hang out for a bit with the families.
Yeah, man, it was a good time. So this was kind of planned for the fam because, hey, Trini, good morning, buddy. I love that guy. I think his ears are probably burning this week because, man, we talked about this guy quite a few in different meetings. And whenever there's an example of a really good person and we need to talk about a really good person, he comes up. So his ears will probably burn this week. But no, like we were supposed to be on the road tomorrow. So like, hey, I only have a couple of days with my kids. Let's take advantage of it. But I'm glad in any case, like we had a good time. We're here at the JW Great Water Park. The boys loved it, arcade, everything. But we're checking out right now and heading back home. And I am excited to go home and do nothing. I just want to do nothing. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, man, it's great to be back on. I had fun last night. Good seeing Mike, Don, and you guys, you and Jess,
and Larissa and Francesca.
That's right.
The kid. Yeah, it was a good time to go
Their
out.
Doggies.
And yeah, the dog. It was fun. We missed Gabe and Lacey. They couldn't make it, but anyway, it was good just to be back home and hang out with our friends. In fact, I was thinking, Jesse, we hadn't. That's like I think the longest for me that I've gone without seeing them. Because it's been a month since we've seen them, and again, I'm used to seeing 4 or 5 days a week at work, and then we've just been gone. So it was nice to kind of get back and hang out and catch up and realize that nothing has changed back at the department. So that's always good.
Yeah, they had some stories.
Yeah.
But,
there's Mikey.
What's up, man? Is. Him and his beautiful wife. They're a great couple.
Hey, Kevin, I still owe you a phone call, brother. I still owe you a phone call. Dude, I've been in over my head, but I hope it's never too late. And I got your voicemail. I even shared it with Jesse. I haven't called you back, man. So that's on me. But hopefully we can connect and talk about what you want to talk about. And then also, too, see about getting back on the golf course. Because next week I'm home. So I'm going to play at least twice. I'm looking at playing tomorrow, open invitation. And next week at least one more time as well. So anyway, there's just a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, and so
real quick,
that point.
Yeah, last week was the first time that we missed, and I was calculating. It's been 7 months since we started this. I think it was March when we first launched because of COVID and everything getting shut down. Maybe April, but we had not missed a Saturday until last week. So that's mostly on me.
No, and we could have done it. I think you even suggested, hey, let's save it for the evening. But I mean, the daily gig set people off, and I forgot. Like I was like, how does everyone know what's going on? Well, they saw you in the daily gig, and that sent people in a frenzy. And then people were like texting me and like lecturing me, like I'm keeping you from the ER. So like they made it sound like I need to call an ambulance for you, and I'm a bad friend if I didn't. So you know what? I was like, you know what? When you finally went. I was like, yeah, let's just rest him. Let's just make sure he get some rest. And he came back fine, So I think you looked pretty bad. I don't know if how well it would have gone, and probably the whole episode would have been about you getting what happened to you. So I think one, it was a good break. We had a lot going on. And speaking of breaks, tomorrow we were supposed to be on the road again, and that was a change, right? And I remember when we first decided to go full time with this, Joe. Like we didn't want to say no to anything. Like we want to take every opportunity. We can't afford to say no. Like we got to work. But I think our eyes were bigger than our stomachs because these 3 weeks were so much fun. Like the work I love doing what we do. I feel like I haven't worked harder in quite a long time in my life over the last 3 weeks. But man, I love it. It's, they say if you love what you do, you're not working. But traveling, it wears on you, and there's no time to like reset.
Yeah.
It was just so I'm grateful for this week. Even though we're not going to Shreveport, I'm gonna miss my friends. I'm gonna miss Bree, miss D. I'm gonna miss LT and everyone else. But we got other stuff we got to work on too.
Yeah, and quick shout out to Lieutenant Jerry Silva. Prayers for him for getting back to good health so that he can have a speedy and full recovery. It was a scary deal that he's going through the medical situation, but anyway, I appreciate in the midst of dealing with a pretty significant scare, he still found the time to email me and text me and just let me know that that they're unavailable or frustrated with the fact that we're not moving forward next week. But what we learned is a lot. And I want to just take a minute before we jump into that, because there's people who still, like, if you look at my face, I'm still a little bit jacked up. I still got a little bit of like black eye going. It was really not a big deal. I wasn't sick. I just, I got acid reflux, and the Marine Corps taught me a lot of things. One of those was eat your food in 90 seconds. And so I just have a terrible habit of like throwing food into my mouth, maybe like closing my jaw once and then trying to like swallow, and I don't chew my food. And so,
well, you were presenting next. We only had a little amount of time.
Yeah,
right?
well, yeah. Exactly. Because a lot of my lunches were like meetings or phone calls, or like I had to do other things. And so I had such a small time. And then I had a 2-hour block I was teaching right after lunch. I was just trying to like shovel food in, and I paid for it. And I got halfway through my meal and I was like, like I'm starting to, my chest is on fire. And then the rest is history. And I had like a violent episode in a beautiful, serene parking lot by a pond with a fountain, all by myself. Didn't tell anyone where I was at. A lot of geese, and it was a violent episode where I choked for a little bit, and I was like, "Well, this might be the end for me." And as such, I like hemorrhaged from my eyes and had petechiae all over my face. But the concerning part was my vision didn't come back in my left eye for like 4 days. The third day is when I went to the ER, but it was just I could not like get clarity. It was super blurry. So anyway, after talking to a great friend and supporter, an incredible eye doctor, he was like, "Hey, I really want you to just go get a scan, make sure everything behind the eye is good to go." So anyway, it's been a solid recovery. It's not 100% back yet, but it's definitely a lot better. And I'm no longer concerned. And I think it's just a matter of time at this point. So anyway, that's what it was. But what I found interesting about this, and I was talking to Jesse about this, is as far as like engagement goes, right? So Jesse and I we're in the business of a lot of things, but I love to think that we're in the business of prevention. A lot of people, a lot of companies, a lot of organizations do so much work of what Jesse referred to as like post-boom or post-crisis or after the fact. And we're trying to emphasize or spend energy and effort on the like, let's do prevention work. Like, let's actually get ahead of this stuff. And yet, and this is like, it's like half, oh, that's very nice. And then it's half like, this is part of the problem. Our most engaging like post or Facebook, like feedback ever of all the things we've ever done was when I was like down and out, and people, I found out I had new family members. People just flooded our stuff with concern over my health, which is really, really nice. And I'm grateful for that. But it's interesting how it's like we seek out crises. And whenever there's like this crisis moment or this negative or bad thing happening, people will flock to that. And so it kind of, it like almost validated this belief I had about the human experience and how people really do. It's why, like, again, it's why the news is what it is. It's why it's a 24/7 cycle, and people are just drawn to it because we really do, like, it's like we crave that crisis. I don't know if it's to compare our own lives. I don't know what the real like desire or need is, but it was fascinating to me of like how that post of all the things we've done created the most traction, attention. I don't know, it's interesting thing to pick up on.
No, you're right. And while we appreciate, like, it's cool to know that like a lot of people care about Joe. Like, that's really, really awesome. Hey, thanks, Zach. Appreciate it. It isn't mine. I can't take credit for this place. But this is probably the smallest area of this place, if that gives you an idea where I'm at. It's
I thought
amazing.
It was your new house.
One day, bud. We got to follow Kevin Curtis for that model. That's going to come. And Kevin just said too in the comments. He was saying that he struggled with no, and saying we can't in the beginning, and we'll eventually find our balance. I hope so, man. And then of course Trini, I would eat anything Trini makes just to. So Zach, this is probably be a room in Trini's house. You know, if you want to see a beautiful background. But I call us in Trini any day you want to have us.
That's like Trini.
Yeah. His bathroom. But no, we appreciate it, right? It was so awesome that Joe's loved and everyone was worried and concerned. And I mean, it looks bad. That really know what it really was. And if anything, it was, I mean, I think it scared Joe altogether, like, you know, how everyone was reacted to him. But it's awesome that people cared about him so much and made sure he got taken care of. And you know, the VA is great in the sense that it took care of all of that, even though he's in another state. But it's interesting, right? Like, I mean, we may get, you know, some likes on this video. We may get maybe a couple of shares. But that had a huge engagement. And it's just like Joe said, interesting part of human experience is like, where's everyone else? And we're all about being preventative and being intentional and being present. And that would be a great time now when everyone's well to like be connected and to engage. But I really think there was a lot of factors involved in that, and just probably Joe looked like his head was going to explode. So it's probably a bad thing.
Zach, quit projecting your weight issues on me, Zach. I did not force feed you anything.
No, you know, I think you were looking forward to it, Zach. I think you wanted to use us as an excuse to cheat. Own yourself, Zach. No, we were not good. We were bad peer pressure for Zach. We were. The guy is eating carb-free bread during the week, and then he meets us and is eating everything that we put in front of our face. But that being said, I do got to hit the gym. I do. But no, so I was bummed. I was bummed about next week. I really, really was. We're looking forward, and we like everywhere we go. But I think Joe agrees with me. Shreveport had an awesome feeling, man. They just like, they just loved us, man, and they made it. It was a super engaging department, and I loved going there. And they were so bought in. And I know it's coming. I know it is. And for that, I want to say thank you to Justin. Justin Hager, man, he's trying to do all things. The guy is a problem solver. His church, his organization solves problems, and everything from getting water to people that don't have it, to trying to get a police agency trained up on very, very much needed training. He's trying to do everything in between. And plus, like, I guess like a fire department needed apparatus and PPE gear, just pumping money out. And he keeps asking his, his congregation to raise money. So, I mean, Joe willing to go in there as an act of good faith and say, like, we love it so much, we believe in it so much, maybe we'll get paid, that's fine. But I maybe the department didn't feel comfortable doing that. They wanted to have everything set together. So I believe that Shreveport's coming around. I believe that's still going to happen. We started it, and I think the seed's fine, and it will come back around. But there's a lot of other things that we need to do because wherever we go, it produces more business. So in the last place we're doing, and I'm like talking about all things at once, but one thing that we learned, because Joe's this Joe titled this "What We Learned." So now that we're back, we learned some things. I think we were selling ourselves a little short. So, for example, we were asked to go train a group of clinicians or crisis intervention specialists at a recovery center, and it was all like via email and via word of mouth. Can you do a 2 day? Like, sure, we'll do it. And we went in really believing that um, maybe we wouldn't be able to offer them anything new. And boy, did we, and we were wrong. So we learned too, like, I mean, whatever we offer just isn't for first responders. I mean, it really can be tailored to everyone. And some of these clinicians had a lot of experience on, and they were still blown away about delivery and how we package things and how Joe's story, my story. So it was a good experience, and they want us back for more. So we're doing that. I'm not excited about the cold, but it's cool back.
And it's going to be real cold. We had a couple 32, 33 degree mornings. But so you touched on a lot there, Jesse, and yeah, again, Iowa was a great stint, 2 weeks of law enforcement agencies, and then a 2 day training for a treatment facility for their staff that works there, some of them. And again, now they're hungry for more, which is great. But to the original point you're making about Shreveport, which, when we're still learning all this, we're full time now. Obviously, we've left our jobs. We're doing this full time. So every experience is a relatively new experience for us. And this was the first job that we've had for next week that got canceled, postponed, pushed off, whatever. And immediately we both had this little bit of like, oh, this isn't good. And then very quickly, though, I saw it from a different light of like, like in the grand scheme of things, does it really matter? I trust it's going to come around. But the only thing that was like a little sad for me was they didn't know this, but we were going to go and essentially just donate it. We were just going to eat the cost of our time, the travel, everything, and just say, you know what, because we have such solid connections with that agency, because we really believe in the fact that they realize now that they need this training, that they want this training. I don't want to deprive them of that. But as an agency, they were like, hey, we're not going to bring people in to train us and not be able to compensate. And so there was like some miscommunication happening. But to your point about Justin Hagler and the Simple Church, I just want to let people know. So one of the things he's doing, and again, he didn't ask me to do this. He had no idea that we were doing this. Jesse and I actually both are wearing our Do Good shirts from the Simple Church. He's got a store called the Do Good Store. But this is their website. He streams his services on Sundays, but if not, support him. They're actually, he was looking to raise $13,000 last weekend to go feed kids in Haiti, like thousands of kids in Haiti. And I know they got to 12,000, and I told them, I said, hey, let me cover the rest. I'll help you out. And he was like, no. Like, we'll get it. I know we'll get it. But if not for raising money to go feed kids in Haiti, they're digging wells for water. They're, the store that they run to just give money back. The guy just raises a ton of capital to give it away. And so again, if you support us when he tries to raise the next round of funding to bring us out there, maybe again, it's something that when he puts it out there, I know, again, he raised the first $32,000 on his own through his church to get us out there to do the first one. So anyway, I really appreciate how hungry this guy is to help us out. And I just wanted to put his stuff up, and I just, I put his link here in the comment section as well. But just, the guy is a great guy supporting really good causes. And so I just wanted to give him a little bit of love, unbeknownst to him. Again, we didn't talk about this. I know he was a little bummed out as well that that next week got pushed, but I think, again, all things for a reason, right? And I think you can fight what's happening and resist it, or you can embrace it and learn from it. And I choose to embrace everything that's happening because it's happening. And it does me no good to resist or push back because there's no value in that. So I think that this week that we have off next week was needed for both of us. It was exhausting to do what we just did. And I could use some time at home. I could use some time back on the golf course doing things that I enjoy, that I need to like fill me back up. because we're going back to Iowa again here in a few weeks. So our days are still going to be quite occupied. There's a lot of meetings already being set up. There's a lot of things, but I'm excited again about the fact that we get to do what we love, and we're working on so many cool projects right now, in just multiple different arenas that I'm really, really excited about. And so, again, as those continue to like happen and get closer to like go to market per se, we'll obviously share all those. But one thing I wanted to share with you, Jesse, I forgot to tell you, is yesterday I was at Grunt Style to go to pick up the Milo range, and I was looking at t-shirts while I was waiting on this guy to come down, and I saw this dude just staring at me, and I'm like, why does this guy keep looking at me? I do not know who this guy is. And of course, we got masks on and everything else, but I'm like, I do not know who this guy is. And he comes up and he was like, hey brother, how's it feel being gone? And I was like, oh, man, it feels amazing. Granted, today's 1 month that I've been, today's exactly 1 month since it was my last day with the department. But I was like, I don't know who this guy is, but clearly he knows that I've left my job. And so that was an interesting experience. And then finally he said, I was at your last in-service class. And he said, I was at your last one. And you said like, hey, as soon as this class is over, that's it. Like I'm done with the department. And he goes, I was very fortunate to be in that last group. And he goes, I really hope that you and Jesse will put that podcast back up, because if you guys speak and talk about things like you did in that class, like I'm all in. I want to hear it. I want to learn from it. And so it was a really validating and rewarding experience for me. Cause again, I didn't know who this officer was, but he clearly resonated with the message. And so I'm happy to announce that I think we really should do it next week. I think, or this week coming up, I think I'm going to re-release the 4 episodes that we had already done. The timing will be a little wonky, obviously. But as we release those, I want to also record some new ones with Jesse and get it back going. But I want to put Truly Mental back online and get that released out. We'll still do our Saturday video shows. I'm thinking like maybe a Wednesday night podcast release with a Sunday, with a Saturday video podcast, just to keep both of them going. Because we're all about just like sharing content, and also like keeping people in the loop of what's happening with us. Because even if it's 4, there's 4 people that care and are tracking and following us and supporting us. So we're going to stay consistent and faithful with what we're doing, just trying to build our community. What's up, Tiff? Morning, Tiffan. Do not give your expertise away. You two have huge value. Well, here's the thing, Jennifer. While I agree with you, I don't see it as giving it away. I think in the universe, all things that are given become gotten. And so I knew, and here's the thing too, I didn't share this piece, but once it was postponed, pushed off, whatever, and I was talking to Justin Hagler, and I told him, I said, man, we weren't even going to, I wasn't worried about the money on this one. I knew it was going to come around eventually somehow. And he was like, man, I had the money. I would have paid y'all for it. But like the department had already bowed out. And I was like, I knew that. Like I trusted that it was going to work out the right way. I just didn't want to get hung up on I don't want these 25 officers to go through our training and potentially transform their lives because we're worried about how we're going to make money on it. I really just wanted to do good first and then trust that the reward would have been given in one way or another. And I trusted that. And so I was following through on that, and it proved out, it turned out it would have been proven to be true. But again, it didn't work. Okay. But I hear what you're saying.
And moreover, like we trust Justin, and Jen is a brilliant businesswoman too. So she's doing pretty well. So I listened to her advice very well, but Justin, we trusted him. He was the first person to pay for the first half of our engagement. The initial engagement, he paid those services full up front before we had done it, and no one does that. We're always, but and we already have a special guest, a good amazing guest who's excited to be on it. I'm excited about this one. I reached out, shot in the dark, said, I wonder if this person will even reply to me, and her assistant reached out, and she's waiting for scheduling dates. And I was just going to talk to you about this today because I don't want to leave her hanging, to give her dates, because she wants to do both our live stream and our podcast. She wants on both. So we got to give her some dates for that if we can. But I can't wait either.
Yeah, that's right, Zach. Yeah, Zach's picking up on my sound effects here. It's incredible. I love it. We can get a little. I'm telling you. And here's the other thing: I can pipe in whatever sound or noises I want, music, all of it. It's going to be a good time. I just haven't had time to play with it fully and get it all set up. But anyway, I'm going to be annoying you in no time. But it certainly is going to make our podcasting much easier with just the intro music buffers, the whole thing, interviewing. It's all really, really great. So
I just got to be grateful right now. I just want to express some gratitude. I mean, think about the people that are in our comments right now. It's is it Saturday morning? It's Saturday morning, right?
Yes.
Successful, like influential, do good people are spending their morning with us, and that means a lot to me. And thank you guys, everybody that's just watching, commenting. I mean, I'm blessed. I'm a blessed man.
Yeah, no, it's you're spot on, Jesse. And again, I have several things I need. So today I'm actually tied up after Don't Say Why, Jesse. I almost slipped on the gig this morning, but I'm super excited about what I have going on today. And it's not like it's some like secret cool business thing. It's just it's a secret cool other thing. And again, I'll be able to share it, but or you'll see later when I post about it. But there's a surprise involved that I can't talk about. So anyway, so my day today is taken care of. Tomorrow, depending on the weather, I'm going to try and get out and play some golf, relax. And then Monday we have meetings and it's like hit the ground running. And then I also, while we're home, I really, plan on getting together with you, Jess, and like we need to either have a co-op space here at at my house in the office, but we need to like be physically together, spending time like working.
Well, I already talked to the fam, and as far as I'm concerned, like when Daddy goes to work now, I'm going to your house. Like it's all understood. So yeah.
So again, however we work that out, I just because it's important that we take advantage of our quote unquote downtime, and by downtime meaning like not providing a service time. I
have a brand new guitar, and I've played it 30 seconds.
Yeah,
I played it for 30 seconds. Yeah.
It's coming. You can bring it. You can play it on breaks. But shoot, I was gonna say something about it. Man, I forget. It slipped my mind. I have no idea.
We have a lot of work to do. We do, and the cool part is, I remember once upon a time when we started doing this, we knew there was a lot of work to do. We didn't know what the work was. We just needed to do it, and we do something, and then it wouldn't produce anything. We were chasing our tails. You know what I mean? And I think now we're at a point where I can see where the work leads. Like we're doing A to get to B to get to C, and I have never been able to see that till now. And that's through having mentors and helping us too. And as long as we're learning along the way. But I remember every mentor saying, "You guys aren't going to grow until you leave your day job. You're not going to grow until you leave your day job. You're not going to know what it's like to go hungry. You're not going to fight. You're just not going to do it. Complacency kills." And they're right. And I don't want to be complacent.
Yeah, so I remember it was now. And so I was very, very blessed to have been accepted into this great program. That the timing was terrible for me, which I didn't know at the time. So it was a RISE program out of Florida State University for entrepreneurship, and I got accepted into it. And it was just a 6-week intensive, group that they were basically teaching us how to take our existing business and scale it. And as I signed up for it, again, this is 7 weeks ago now. I was still with the department. I still really wasn't exactly sure when things were going to happen. And then I get accepted. And then I was like, it's time for me to go. Like I have to go because we have so much work lined up. And so I was not the valedictorian of this class at all. In fact, I'm pretty ashamed of my lack of participation just because of, again, like there's only so much time in a day. And It was super hard for me, and I watched most of the videos, and they're still giving me access to them for another 6 months. So thank you for that, Florida State University. But I've got all these videos and PowerPoints and templates and tools and different things that we can use. And so the final thing that I had to do for like the graduation, which I did yesterday virtually, this presentation on like action planning, and it was to identify our top 3 goals and then actually like measurably go through and identify like what steps are required, what resources are needed to attain those goals, and then a timeline. And I had to fill that out and present on it and then answer any questions that they had. And it really made me feel happy and excited to work through that process, because I just like, even just from yesterday, I see the business from a different light now. And I sent it to Jesse and was like, hey, we have like actionable steps now through this action plan of things that we can be doing, things we need to be looking at. And yeah, I don't know. I'm super excited about having, because the way my brain works is a bit scattered, but I'm excited to have like this map, this blueprint, if you will, of how to scale or take our business to the next level. So anyway, that's things we're going to be working.
That's amazing. And even for, a moderately high, like systematic thinking person, if you hear that, you're thinking, well, that's easy. And it isn't. I mean, taking these steps, setting goals, I mean, it's easier than it sounds. And people are like, oh, you need to do this. And it isn't. And what I found is prioritizing in business, and then picking up when to do things and how to do things in a very methodical and actionable methodology. It is not easy. And that's great that you went through that program and we have people like that supporting us. So very cool, Joe. And I saw it. I saw what you did, and I'm excited about it too.
Yeah, no doubt. No, that's called strategic planning, by the way. Yeah, or action planning is what they called it. Elizabeth, and good morning to you, my friend. Long time no chit chat, Lizzie. I hope all is well. Yeah, no, strategic planning, action planning, like it's all very important. And honestly, again, because of time and 100 excuses, it's something that we haven't done. We have been very fortunate to just kind of keep going. But zero marketing, zero like business, like structure. I mean, other than, yes, we're a legitimate business. We have our LLC. We're actually switching it up to an S Corp right now. But yeah, it's all the other things like, okay, so now we're here. How do we get to where we want to go? Right. And it's like, that's for anybody too, like where you are and where you want to be, that chasm in between is the work. And you can either avoid that process or you can embrace that process. And so I'm choosing to embrace it as like because I'm a student of life. I love learning new things, especially if it's something that like excites me. And for whatever reason, like the actual like back end of business excites me. I love the delivery. I love the service oriented business that we're in. I love being people facing and like delivering content and training and transforming. But I also really enjoy learning about like the back end of the how-tos and I don't know. It's a fascinating world to me, and to do it the right way. And we were on a business call yesterday, on a Zoom call, and it was like an ambush.
Freaking incredible, man.
Yeah, it was great. But
I'll just say this: it was only incredible because of something you did.
Well,
or that might not have happened till later. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
Right, and I think it's important for people to understand this, is that yes, it's virtual. That sucks. Yes, but because as such, we had someone in North Carolina, us in Texas, and then someone in California. And so we could bring, coast to coast to coast together. But when I joined the Zoom, the gentleman and Jesse, and then the woman were all like conversing. And then I joined, and then they pulled up a PowerPoint and just started going through it of like, this is what we want to do. And I'm like, okay, yeah, makes sense. We talked through it business wise. And then she was explaining like why they came up with those metrics and how we're going to measure these things, whatever. And then he was like, all right, I'm feeling good. Like the guy who's coordinating the meeting. And he's like, I feel good. Like, all right, I'm going to, you guys made that quick and easy. so yeah, we'll be in touch. And like, it was about to end. And I was like, oh, hold on a second. I said, hey, if you don't mind, I don't want to take the time up here, but I know who this guy is. I know who Jesse is, but like, who's this? Her name is Kim. I'm like, who's like Kim? If you don't mind, just who are you? Like, we're jumping into business together, but I have no idea like who you are or anything about you. And it was like the entire energy just like came back in, and she was like, oh, thank you for asking, and like just went into this like super powerful emotional story as to like finding out what her why was.
She went into Joe mode. I'll just say that she went into Joe mode is all I can call it.
Yeah, and, I mean, it was very emotionally intelligent and just became like raw and vulnerable in that moment because I asked. And then, like moments later after we finished that, it was a powerful experience. And then we finished, and like an hour later, I get a LinkedIn request from her with a thank you note of, hey, I really appreciate you doing that. And I told Jesse, I said, it's fascinating to me that people don't. Like, it's fascinating to me that people don't think that way, but I also understand that like everyone's different. Like some people, like again, Jesse brought up systematic. Him and Jessica are very high systematic thinkers. I am incredibly low, but I'm really high in relational and interpersonal. And so my ability to like just connect and like want to connect with people on an emotional level is much higher than my ability to like organize and structure things. And so, yeah, I think that's why we have this, but it was just a powerful experience. I told Jesse, I said, this is what we need to remember is we have to lead with empathy always. Like we have to be emotionally intelligent in these meetings and make sure that we are putting ourselves out there because people connect with us just as much as they connect with what we're trying to do. And so I don't want to ever get lost in that. Like regardless if we're talking about $5 or $50 million, I still want to maintain our integrity.
And if we had gotten a very technical answer, that would have been fine, I guess. But what happened in that moment, and I said it would have been a missed opportunity, is we thank you, Elizabeth. We thank you. How's it going, bud? In that opportunity, we got to find someone, an organization that was aligned with our values. So this particular person and organization isn't about necessarily making a profit or trying to have a gimmick that is going to sell. It was about providing first responders the tools to change their lives for the better. And then she explained why that is. She was married to a first responder for decades and has 7 children. I mean, and she vulnerability. And I was like, that's a person I want to work with, right? But that opportunity would have been missed if Joe hadn't been Joe and said, hey, I want to know you, because he wants to see you, right? So
that's very, right. Very cool. Because we see you.
We see you.
We at least try to. Anyway, so I feel like we've touched on a lot. We're 38 minutes in. It's just, I know it's a lot of rambling. And again, I appreciate to repeat Jesse's sentiment and his gratitude. I really appreciate the people that can just continue to show up for us and encourage us and support us. And, again, I'm excited about the direction we're going and the things that we have coming up. And like always, don't forget, if you're not part of my community, please be a part of my community. Just shoot a text. It is to me, but it's just it's a new form of social media. And as I get it built up more and more, and share it with other people too, whether they're first responders or not, I actually have 2 tracks going. But if you connect with me through that, and I'm just going to send out like texts, pictures, updates, inspirations, quotes, whatever, just to again, I want to grow a community through Solution Point Plus with Jesse of like-minded people who think like us, again, not to create like a cult, but people who are willing to be vulnerable, be authentic, and see people over their problems. That is what we want to do. And I want to build a community of people around that. And I think that as we do that, both in law enforcement and everyone outside of law enforcement, not to create a wall or this like, barrier between the two, but because we're really ingrained with that community of first responders. Again, police, fire, EMS, and military. I understand how they think and work oftentimes. And so it's not that they can't be inclusive at all. It's just to at least get them started rolling, to get them back in touch with themselves, their feelings, and then we can do kind of a broader introduction to the world. But for now, whether you're in policing or not, I would love to have you join me by texting this number, and yeah, just make it happen. Cool.
All right, so I guess we'll wrap it up now.
Yeah.
I ever express gratitude to everybody that's hanging out with us right now. It's really, really important to us. It makes us feel good. And I've been thankful this entire journey, and I hope I can always be grateful and find things to be grateful. But what I really want to say is, and I speak for Joe on this, is we're grateful for our other halves, our families at home who had to endure the 3 weeks without us after having us around all the time to like some of the time, and now like it was like none of the time. And everyone thinks like, hey, well, you know, there's phones and text messages and emails, you can FaceTime or whatever, but we are busy. We are busier than we ever anticipated. I think we knew that we would be busy, but we didn't know what busy felt like, and now we do. And I'm not complaining. I'm not saying that I don't like it. I love the work we're doing, and I want to keep doing it. I'm grateful for the busyness. This is what we signed up for. This is what we want to do. But it is taxing on our families, and it's different. And I just want to be show gratitude, and we're blessed to have people at home supporting us. And Michelle, the boys, Jess, you know, our extended family's mom, everyone. We've missed you guys, right? It takes away from you guys, but I know that you guys are doing it because you believe in us, you love us, and you know that we're doing good things. So I'm glad that I got to have this time to kind of reset with my boys and Michelle, and then hang out with the friends and everyone last night. But now it's time to hit the ground running. I had been waiting for. Everyone's like, what's it like not being a cop anymore? Like, I don't know. Like, I have not been in space, not doing all the things to kind of feel it, and I'm excited for this week, because for me, this week will be my sense of like, hey, you have to get up now and do A, B, and C. Like, you're on your own. Like, you're your own boss. And I've waited for this experience, and it's here. And I could not have done that without the support of my family. So I'm grateful. And let's do it, Joe. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen. And yeah, I appreciate that, brother. And again, as I hopefully you read your card that I wrote to you. Jesse's birthday is next week, y'all. 10/29. But I couldn't do this without you, and I wouldn't want to do it without you by my side. And it's just really nice to again, I see people that are like individual operators that go into business, true like solopreneurs, and it's like, man, how do you do that without like a friend alongside supporting you? And I don't know. So I'm glad and I'm grateful that we get to do this together, and that yes, we do have really incredible support systems that allow us to take these leaps and take these risks and do what we love. And so I also will repeat your sentiment, and a big thank you to my Jess, and to your Michelle, and just to our friends that encourage us and support us while we're gone. And because I get in trouble when I don't finish with a quote, I got one for you, and it simply states that connection is why we are here. We are hardwired to connect with others. It is what gives purpose and meaning to our lives, and without it, there is suffering. And you've probably heard me say this before, but the price of admission for life is suffering. And I think it's only because we forget this point. Like, we forget why we're here. And to me, I really believe that the purpose of our lives is to connect with other people. and to learn with other people and grow with other people and just learn to love on people. And again, it's why I love Justin Hagler so much and what he's doing. And that quote, by the way, is from Queen Bee, Brene Brown, maybe double B. Not to be confused with Beyonce, but that was from Brene Brown. But again, don't forget, or if you have forgotten, then remind yourself that if you're in a funk, if you're in a lull, if you're feeling down or depressed, check in with yourself and ask who you're connected with and why. And are those connections meaningful, or are they taking you to a darker spot? But spend time in connection, be intentional, and like Jesse said, we really do love y'all, appreciate y'all, and. All right, hold on a second, man. Before we jump off, I gotta see what's going on here. Trini, I'm texting now. You guys can't do what you do without the support of family and friends. We got your backs. Yes, thank you, Trini. Love you, man. I got to call that guy too. We're trying to set up a meeting to support this guy. If you're a first responder, there's zero excuses other than like a catastrophe that you would not be at the International Keepers of the Peace Conference in April of 2021.
If you're not there, you hate us. It means you hate us if you're not there.
Go to keepersofthepeace.com is the website and just get registered, get signed up, support it, sponsor it, do something. But we're trying to help get that going with him as well to get some sponsorships. And
Mike,
thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I promise I don't get hit. Jesse doesn't abuse me when I don't win.
I strangled him. I tried to strangle him. I did.
Jesse, Bestie, Joe, Bro Boys. Oh. Tiffany, y'all are great souls. A great soul serves everyone all the time. A great soul never dies. It brings people together. Yeah, I love that Tiffany's like getting on this quote train. I like it. I see her stuff on Facebook and she'll be putting quotes out there. It makes me smile. I love it. Again, what resonates with you? Why? And then like do something with it. Capiche? Comprende? All right, my friends. Jesse, it's good seeing you, brother. Good luck checking out of there. Have a good day with the fam. And yeah, we'll be you know what? Enjoy the weekend, man.
And tell Lex the thing. Yeah.
No, but you know what is I will reach out to you tomorrow actually, because we got to set up Monday's meetings and get our schedule going. Cool?
Yeah.
All right, man. Y'all be well. Take care. Here we go. Sit, man. Y'all take care.